Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ronnie Stockholm. Welcome once again to NWC Tonight. For the next 90 minutes, we've got some fantastic in-ring action for you. We're going to be seeing 4 more matches in Round 5 of our NWC number 1 Contenders Round Robin Tournament. We only have 2 rounds left to go, folks, and then we will have a number 1 contender to Damian Black's World title. In addition to that, we've got 4 other exciting matches, making this our largest episode yet. We're going to be seeing some exciting new debuts in both our men's and women's division, and we're also going to be seeing a very hotly anticipated tag team encounter in our main event, where we will see Danica Rabin and Anna Sokolov teaming together for the first time to take on the mother-daughter duo of Nikki and Alyssa Wilde. We've got all that plus more in tonight's exciting edition of NWC Tonight. Let's take you to ringside. For our first encounter, we have 2 exciting returns. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Megan Hogan and War of INCW making their NWC Tonight debuts. Of course, War, a former INCW Women's Champion, in fact, the champion that Nikki Wilde dethroned to earn her title just a little over a year ago. And of course, Megan Hogan excited to be here and looking to make a name for herself in this new division, in this new company. Of course, we look forward to any opportunity to see any of our exciting competitors from any of the affiliate brands in NWC make their debut and continue their careers here on NWC Tonight. Megan Hogan, someone with a very interesting history, has claimed in the past to be somehow related to a famous wrestler. I don't know about the validity of those claims, but she is certainly an individual who thinks very highly of her own pedigree and her in-ring skills. A bit of a throwback to the Divas era of professional wrestling, for better or worse. But despite appearances, Megan Hogan is an incredibly talented in-ring competitor. We've seen her on INCW television many times, and while she does tend to lean toward the diva side of things, she certainly has a mean streak and knows how to get things done in the ring. And now, coming to the ring, someone who I know that the NWC fans have been excited to see debut for quite some time. We have War. Now, War is a former INCW Women's Champion. She has had a tremendous run in INCW, just absolutely destroying all comers. She actually had quite a career surge a couple of seasons ago when a season-long feud with Alyssa Wilde resulted in a fantastic ladder match in which on the line was a number 1 contender shot for the INCW Women's Championship. And of course, in a hard-fought contest, War won that match and then went on to win the INCW Women's Championship, which she held for an entire season in dominating fashion. Of course, at the end of that season, at a supercard event, she faced Nikki Wilde. And while Nikki Wilde was an underdog in that match, she ended up defying the odds and becoming the INCW Women's Champion, a belt that she holds to this day, 3 seasons and nearly a year and a half later. War has been, of course, waiting for an opportunity to get on the NWC stage and remind the world just what a dominant, powerful competitor she can be. No doubt she wants to climb that mountain and have an opportunity to win back the title that she so narrowly lost. Of course, it's always fantastic to see INCW competitors competing at this stage. The bell has rung and we are underway, and immediately Megan Hogan starting off strong with a series of strikes and a sharp DDT right in the center of the ring takes War down. You know, that's not the way that War wanted to debut. A solid 2 count with a forceful kick out by War. Hogan controlling her opponent, leans her up against the ropes, and just, a hard kick to the leg there, just going to knot up that quadricep. War a bit slow to start here. Megan has those very long legs. She gets a lot of mileage out of those fierce kicks. She's got to have strong legs to be able to maintain her balance in stiletto high heels like that. Not exactly traditional wrestling attire. War with a backdrop into a slam, showing off the power that she's known for. And a kick to the gut, and has her up. Fisherman Buster right in the center of the ring, and Megan Hogan is going to take a second to collect herself. But War now in charge and just heaves her over. War with at least a 30 to 40 pound weight advantage here. Big belly to belly slam takes Hogan down. Again, War, I'm certain, looking to make a mark for herself. A lot of the NWC Tonight audience has not seen her compete before, those that only watched INCW, and certainly she wants to remind the world through this introduction here of just what she can do. And look at her, just going to town, slamming Megan Hogan's head against the mat again and again. And again, let it not be said, Megan Hogan is no slouch. She has had quite a bit of success in INCW herself, against War and against others. War with a German suplex, holds on, goes for a second one. What tremendous strength. 3 German suplexes in a row, releases on the third one, and Hogan may be out, ladies and gentlemen. War ascending to the middle rope, waiting for her, measuring her opponent, and a big shoulder block. Nearly 200 pounds of War flying out like a missile right into the chest and head of Megan Hogan. War has her up, suplexes her across the ring. This has become a showcase for War, ladies and gentlemen. Has that arm, controlling Megan's arm, but Megan manages to fight her way out. And a series of strikes followed by a sharp DDT. Goes for a quick pinfall. Referee in to make the count. And for the second time of the night, Megan Hogan with some sudden offense gets a 2 count. But look at this. She is got to control her temper. She's clearly upset at that count. And looks like any sort of technical game plan she may have had has gone out the window. She's gone at War with some fists on the ground there. I don't know that I'd brawl with War, though. War has a distinct power and striking advantage based upon her history. But Megan Hogan is saying nothing doing. She is going to take War out on her own terms. The two continue their fight outside the ring. Wait a minute, what's War going to do? Has Hogan up, and a Fisherman Buster right on the mat outside the ring, and picks her up. Wow, just a deadlift German suplex on that very, very thin mat outside. And War just continuing the assault out there, and letting both Megan Hogan and the crowd know that she is in full control. Sends Hogan to the barricade, and and a suplex, and I do believe the back of Hogan's legs just clipped that set of steps out there. Going for a headlock, but Hogan firing her way out. And manages to drop War with a forearm right to the jaw. Megan Hogan accounting for herself extremely well. Oh, and look at that, ladies and gentlemen. I think she's going for a count out. A low blow to War, and back in the ring, she's telling the ref to count. And War back in immediately. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, an end of days right in the center of the ring. War completely caught Megan flat-footed. 1, 2. And just like that, what a sudden end to this match. Folks, Megan Hogan was trying for a cheap win. She slid back in the ring and tried to get the ref to count her opponent out. But not only did War slide in right under the buzzer, she slid in and immediately caught Megan Hogan in an end of days that just put her lights out. One and done right in the center of the ring. Folks, a tremendous showing by Hogan, but what a dominant win by War. You know that War is going to be paying attention very closely to the main event of tonight's show, because that features the INCW Women's Champion that dethroned her, Nikki Wilde, and several of our top contenders for that belt. You know that that's something that is a grouping that War wants to be included in sooner rather than later. The women's division has been heating up as of late, folks, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking you to some more action after this. Welcome back to NWC Tonight, ladies and gentlemen. In just a moment, we'll be taking you to the next round of the NWC Round Robin #1 Contenders World Title Tournament. Of course, brought to you once again by Gary Bloomfield, the voice of PWA. As you can see here, as we enter this next round, we have a tremendous showing here by the Spoiler 3 and also by Paul Grovett. Each with 4 wins and only 1 loss. Just behind them, we have Spencer Watts and Brawler Beckett and Akira Wilde, all holding firm with 3 wins and 2 losses. There is still an opportunity for many of these wrestlers to earn that #1 contenders slot. We'll be presenting to you in just a moment 2 of tonight's 4 featured tournament matches. I look forward to this action, folks. We're going to go ahead and take you to Gary Bloomfield, who will bring you our first encounter of the evening.
Thank you very much, Ronnie. Folks, this is Gary Bloomfield bringing you round 6 of the NWC #1 Contendership Round Robin Tournament. Our opening contest features this man, the modern-day aristocrat, Richard Pennyworth III, making his way to the ring now. Pennyworth has 2 chances left, and it is a matter of pride. 2 chances to get a win. He remains winless during the course of the tournament. 2 opportunities left for the former PWA heavyweight champion. And Pennyworth has been, again, he's been close on a number of occasions. He has been very close to getting the tap out, to getting a pin, to getting a victory. Unfortunately, all of those chances have fallen by the wayside. He is going to try again. And believe me, folks, he is going to give it every effort that he can. This is not going to be an easy match. In spite of his win-loss record, it's not going to be an easy match for his opponent, who is now currently making his way to the ring. The Blueprint, Spencer Watts, tied up in second place, along with Akira Wilde and Brawler Beckett behind the 2 leaders, Paul Gravitt and the Spoiler 3. Spencer Watts was a heavy favorite early on, had a couple of missteps, and now looking to maintain his position and stay in contention for that #1 contendership spot. And again, this is all for the NWC Championship, currently held by Damian Black. Both men look ready, checking over equipment, stretching out. There's the bell. Match is underway, and Pennyworth right out of the gate with a flurry of strikes, going for a quick cover. Count of 1. Watts kicks out at 1. Pennyworth wants that win so badly, folks. Springboard crossbody. Pennyworth pulling out all the stops early in this match. As he grabs Watts and slams him face first into the canvas. Watts having a hard time getting anything going. Pennyworth got the arm trapped, drops the knee. He is smothering Spencer Watts at this point. Going for the punch. Watts catches him with an elbow to the breadbasket. Big chop. Springboard springboard soul butt by Watts. And now Watts coming back on hard. Coming back strong. Pennyworth reverses. Got Watts hard forearm, and down goes the Blueprint. Watts trying to stay evasive, but Pennyworth catches him once again. Now sends him in for the ride. Drop kick dead in the middle of the chest of the Blueprint. Double leg drop across the thighs. Watts rolling to the ropes, getting some assistance. Oh, he caught Pennyworth looking. Pennyworth coming in for the clothesline. Watts with a drop toe hold, drapes him on the middle rope, and now putting all that body weight on the back. A big mistake, a costly mistake by Pennyworth, and the tide has turned. Watts now stretching out the arm of the Aristocrat and laying in some heavy right hands. Pennyworth defenseless against those punches. Pennyworth with a shot to the midsection. Catches Watts in that heel hook. Just picked the leg and swept him down. Watts fighting back. And a trio of punches breaks the heel hook. Both men back to their feet. Lariat from Watts. Pennyworth now rolling to the outside. Watts getting set up. Beautiful suicide dive type maneuver, somersaulting over the top rope and just dropping the weight on Pennyworth. Pennyworth coming back with a pair of kicks, go behind into a German suplex. Picks Watts back up to his feet. Now Pennyworth thought about maybe going back inside. Snapmare and an elbow. Couldn't tell if that was to the back of the head or maybe to the neck area. Pennyworth throws Watts back in, takes some time to himself. Watts coming back to the ropes. Pennyworth making his way back in. And Watts catches Pennyworth coming in with the in-game submission. Watts, Pennyworth fought out, rolled through, gets himself free. Got him up, vertical suplex. Chin crusher from Watts. Collar elbow tie up. Watts goes around. Crucifix, but Pennyworth somehow managed to roll through. Watts couldn't hold him for the pin. Watts is going for the end game once more. End game once more. He is cranking back on it. Pennyworth desperately trying to find out. Pennyworth taps. Pennyworth taps. And your winner by submission, the Blueprint, Spencer Watts. Richard Pennyworth remains winless. Spencer Watts maintains his position in an incredible match. Pennyworth very aggressive at the start, but Watts managed to weather the storm, and there was the tap out, as you saw. The end game bringing a victory to Spencer Watts once again. And folks, our next match is coming up. Don't go anywhere. Folks, our next contest is just about ready to begin as the participants begin making their way to the squared circle, and here comes the surgical specialist, Akira Wilde, who has had a great tournament. He did have a rough start, putting together 2 losses, and then got a landmark victory for him over the Spoiler 3. Spoiler's only blemish so far in this record belongs to this man, and since then, Akira Wilde has been on an absolute tear, and he looks to keep that momentum going against his opponent tonight. Wilde, an incredibly passionate wrestler, prone to anger, has something of a quick temper, but also that brings about motivation. And that motivation has led Akira to being in the running and in the hunt to win this tournament. His chances are very much alive. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said about the man coming to the ring to face Mr. Wilde. Here comes the outlaw, Billy Cody. 1 win to his name. Cody is a fighter. He is a fighter who simply loves combat. He loves to hurt people. It's a pastime, a fun time, and a hobby for him. He is not going to pass up this chance, and I would not look for him to take it very easy on Akira Wilde. While he may no longer be in the hunt, Billy Cody still going to look to make his mark on the tournament. So one thing to consider, folks, is even though there's no prize for second place, there is a reputation that these men are building by participating in this tournament. Performance does matter. As the bell rings and this match begins, and it is Cody right out of the gates. My goodness, what a spine buster. Cody going right after Wilde. Wilde loves to start off hot and start off fast and gain an early advantage, and Cody has beaten him to the punch. I really wonder if that's going to get in the head of Wilde. Stomp to the midsection by the outlaw. Lets Wilde get back up to his feet, catches him with a hard lariat. Stomp to the face. Got Wilde up, and a hard driving knee to the side of the face, almost to the temple, and drops the big elbow, holds for the pin. Akira kicks out at 1. Cody helping him up to his feet and laying in some punches. Wilde catches him with a chin crusher. Wilde's got an opening, snapmare. Wilde rolls him over, cattle mutilation, locked in on Bill Cody. Cody, he managed to shift his weight, reversed out of it or rolled out of it, throws out an elbow and breaks the hold. Cody got Wilde up, Over to the corner. Face first onto the turnbuckle. And now Cody trying to choke Wild. Wild manages to get free. Wild with a lariat. Rolls through the lariat. He's going to stay on Cody. Akira kick out of nowhere. And he is not done. Wild going to work on the leg. Dropping that elbow. Cody trying to get to the ropes after that devastating Wild kick. He has not gotten all of his senses back. Wild with an innovative leg drop over the bottom rope. Wild now outside. He is stalking Cody. Comes up from behind, grabs him. Short DDT. A short ride and a hard landing. Wild getting this crowd into it. Cody catches him. Oh, look out. Cody has got Wild set up. He's got him up. Power bomb. Cody not going for the pin. Wild gonna make him pay. Backdrop Greco-plex by Akira. Akira with the cover. One. Kick out by Cody at 1. Kick to the midsection. Surgical strike. Hooks the leg. 1. Count of 2. Cody grabs the rope. Referee calls for the break. Wild gonna try to keep the pressure up, getting Cody away from those ropes. Cody struggling to get back to his feet, gets out of the way of the kick. Collar double tie up. Cody got Wild up. Sidewalk slam. Both men back to their feet. Throws Cody against the ropes. Now throws him through the ropes. What is Wild looking for here? An assault with Cody tied up in the ropes. Cody defenseless. Just wound up in those ropes. So Wild is coiled, ready to strike. Kick to the midsection. Now Cody caught him. Bill Cody caught him. Forearm to the face. Go behind. It smashes the knee down. Shin breaker. Cody. Oklahoma Stampede. Hooks the leg. 1. Count of 2. And Bill Cody has defeated Akira Wild. That may have effectively mathematically eliminated Akira from contention. And Bill Cody, the smug pleasure etched on his face after that devastating Oklahoma Stampede, has just spoiled Akira Wild's chances. Billy Cody showing off to this crowd. Folks, we're going to take you back to Ronnie Stockholm for more NWC action.
Thank you so much, Gary. What exciting tournament action. And we are not done. We have 2 more tournament matches for you. But before that, we have an exciting tag team encounter. We're going to be seeing Ravage and Rampage of Insult to Injury taking on the returning La Familia. That is, of course, Big Tony, Little Anthony, and Miss Tiffany of INCW fame. These 3 mafioso characters here have been making waves in INCW for the last couple seasons, and we look forward to seeing them continue their wave of dominance here in NWC. This organized group of criminals is going to have their hands full, though, because they're going to have to take on these eclectic individuals. Insult to Injury, of course, tremendous showing in the Make Your Mark Battle Royal, and also a victory over former tag team champions, the Cold Snakes, in their debut just a few weeks ago. These throwbacks to an earlier era are all about dishing out the pain and delivering the occasional incomprehensible promo. They are enthusiastic Enthusiastic soldiers of destiny, you could call them, ladies and gentlemen. Entertaining, incredibly powerful, and extremely dominant in the ring. These two muscular men are ready to take on any challenge that comes to them. And what a challenge they have tonight, because for the first time in an NWC ring, we're going to be seeing La Familia, this tight-knit Italian family, as it were, headed up by Big Tony. And of course, with him is his man, Little Anthony, and with them, Miss Tiffany, the ever-beautiful, ever-dangerous Miss Tiffany. A new look for these three as they've upgraded their wardrobe for their rise to the national stage. These three have been a thorn in the side of many an INCW star since their debut a few seasons ago. Now, Big Tony, of course, a gigantic man, a powerful man who's utilized his tremendous strength and girth to tremendous advantage. A former INCW champion. Flanked by his associates, the Little Anthony, the man who can get things done, and the femme fatale Miss Tiffany. La Familia is in the house and as dangerous as ever. Very sharp-looking suits on these gentlemen. Look forward to seeing some hard-hitting action here. Looks like we're going to start out with Rampage and Big Tony in the ring. Tony shoves Rampage off and immediately comes in with a flying neckbreaker. Tremendous agility for a man of his size. Big Tony goes at least about 6'8", and has to be cresting that 350-pound mark. Just a huge man. Sends Rampage to the ropes. Follows through. And, outside the ring, we have some brawling going on here while Big Tony is ramming Rampage pillar to post. Ravage and Little Anthony are having a go of it outside the ring. And Tony, again, just throws Rampage in the corner while Ravage is mauling Little Anthony outside the ring there. Goodness. This thing is broken down fast, folks. Insult to injury, showing their viciousness. A big crucifix driver takes down Big Tony. Rampage sends him to the ropes, and kind of a low blow drives a knee in deep into the solar plexus of the large Italian. But Big Tony, unfazed, drops him in a huge backdrop. I gotta say, Big Tony seems to have lost a pound or two. He's looking, I mean, he's a girthy man, but I'm gonna say he's looking to be in tremendous shape, especially given the size he was last time we saw him. Little Anthony now in the ring. Little Anthony, just a spitfire, a fast and vicious little man. A sit-out powerbomb, a Michinoku driver of sorts, a TKO driver, takes Rampage out of the ring. So far, La Familia really showing their viciousness and just striking Ravage outside the ring as well. And look at this, the viciousness of Little Anthony. I think he caught Ravage off guard, put a thumb to his eyes, and is now taking advantage of the big man. Could probably hammer on that chest all day long, though. Rampage coming in, stiffs him with a clothesline, but Little Anthony manages to keep his footing, ducks underneath, leapfrog, and a shoulder-to-shoulder collision. No one goes anywhere, though. Rampage may be the smaller of the two men in insult to injury, but he still outweighs Little Anthony by a fair sum. Rampage just hammering the back of Anthony as Ravage comes in to try to get a little bit of revenge himself. Sends Rampage to the ropes, ducks underneath, goes for a big-time punch, misses, catches nothing but air, but then lands a second one, though. Big Superman-style punch. Ravage in to rescue his partner. And just mounting him, Rampage just getting mauled by Little Anthony there. Anthony with a series of kicks to Rampage's solar plexus. And follows up with a stomp. Little Anthony very smartly dressed here. Managed to get quite a wardrobe upgrade compared to where we saw him at before. Rampage with a big atomic drop. Just crushing the tailbone of the little man and then spins him into a neck breaker. Big headbutt sends little Anthony down. And I think Anthony's going to go ahead and... Nope, I thought he was going to tag out to Big Tony. Oh, but Ravage eats a spear. Little Anthony, like a bullet fired out of a gun. Rampage manages to get a shoulder up, but I think the wind was knocked out of him. Tags out to Big Tony. Uh-oh. Ravage may be in trouble here. And look at that. Speaking of the end of days, another one, much like War, Big Tony just drops Rampage face first with that unique face buster maneuver. And look at the power on display. Big Tony gorilla pressing Ravage up into the air, walking around with him, dropping him from a height of what must be between 8 and 9 feet in the air. But Ravage not taking it. And look at that. Speaking of power, a rolling driver. Oh my goodness. I believe he calls that the sacrifice, ladies and gentlemen. And he is measuring Big Tony. What's he going to do here? Oh, he's got him up. He's got him up. He calls that the altar of ruin, ladies and gentlemen. A power bomb into a Samoan drop goes for the pin. Thank goodness for La Familia, though. Little Anthony, with eyes in the back of his head, dives in there and is able to rescue his benefactor, the big man there. But Ravage now firmly in control, just slamming Big Tony again and again into the mat. Ravage, an incredibly powerful force of nature there. And then just sitting on it. Oh, and look at that. Little Anthony once again in to rescue his friend. His family member, as it were. And look at that. Power bomb. Huge power bomb on Little Anthony. Just explodes him onto the mat. And a big clubbing axe handle style blow for Big Tony. And twists him into a neck breaker. Ravage is absolutely on fire. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. And Little Anthony able to rescue him once again, just at the last possible second. But Big Tony is in trouble. Ravage measuring him, daring him to get to his feet. What's he got in store? DDT. DDT in the insult injury side of the ring. Big Tony is in trouble. And look at that. Another sacrifice roll. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, and 3. Little Anthony not able to make the save in time. Your winners tonight. Insult to injury. But what a showing by La Familia. You know that these guys are going to be a force in tag and singles action moving forward. But tonight, your winners, insult to injury. And for those keeping score, the undefeated tag team insult to injury. 2 amazing wins. One over the Cold Snakes and another over La Familia. So these two men have asserted themselves in short order as a tag team to watch. You know that the Masked Invaders must be at home taking notes. They are not going to want to sleep on this powerful and frankly insane duo. More action, folks, after this. Exciting stuff, folks. NWC full effect coming soon. But that is later. Now we have more in-ring action for you. We have an exciting singles match here. Once again, returning member of the Mason family. Very interesting. We had a family very recently make a debut that reminded me quite a bit of the Masons, but the official Masons are here. They are in the house. Look at this. It is Landon Mason, former tag team champion in INCW. And who's this he's facing? This is Chris Knight. We'll learn more about him in just a moment. First, coming down the aisle, we have Landon Mason, one half of the Mason twins, the two brothers who took INCW by storm. These are high-flying and impactful individuals, as all members of the Mason clan are. Landon Mason will be heading down to the ring in just a moment. He is a tag team specialist normally, but he's looking for an opportunity to spread his wings as a singles star. This young man, this good-looking young man here, has quite a lot of charisma and seems to garner quite a bit of fan support. So it'll be interesting to see him here in NWC in singles competition. We know that his brother's going to be debuting here as well, and of course, I'm sure they have their eyes on Tag Team Gold, but it'll be interesting to see what Landon Mason is able to do on his own here in an NWC ring. And he's going to need to bring all of his skills to bear because he's going to be taking on a newcomer here to NWC. We have Chris Catch Knight, who you'll be seeing coming down to ringside very soon. Now, Chris Knight, no relation, of course, to Paul Hook Gravitt, even though Paul Gravitt runs the Hook's Catch Wrestling Academy. You might think there's an association there, but it is simply a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. However, what is not a coincidence is that Chris Knight does, in fact, come here with a wrestling pedigree. For longtime fans of PWS, Pro Wrestling Shaft, back in the early 2000s, Damon Knight, former tag team champion, graduate of the Wild School of Wrestling, former tag team partner of Akira Wild in the tag team known as the Wild Knights, and most relevant to us, Damon Knight, the father of Nikki Wild. Chris Catch Knight is Damon Knight's nephew. So that would make Chris Knight here Nikki Wild's cousin. So it's all in the family, folks. And this young man here, we've heard quite a bit about him on the amateur circuit. He is a catch-as-catch-can wrestler with a tremendous technical background. Are we sure he's not related to Paul Gravitt, folks? Well, you're going to see in a moment, he is a man unto himself. He's got a tremendous set of skills, an expert striker and a ground grappler and mat technician. He actually requested for this first match, he said, hey, give me a submission match. I want to show my submission skills. And while the NWC Championship Committee did not make this first encounter a submission match, you've got to appreciate the moxie of a young man making requests like that in his debut match. Chris Knight, a strong, fast individual. Bell has rung. We are underway. We're going to see whether he's got what it takes to defeat the veteran Landon Mason. Man, I remember not too long ago when Landon Mason was a rookie, starting out fresh with his brother, looking for tag team glory, but now a seasoned vet looking to try to spread his wings and move on to some singles competition. Manages to roll Knight over, gets a few good strikes in, but Knight kicks him away. And look at that, a release German suplex this early in the encounter. Landon sends Chris Knight to the corner. Knight is going to have his hands full. I'm telling you, Landon Mason is an extremely agile, extremely strong, flashy individual with a tremendous moveset. The only thing going against Landon is he's used to having his twin brother in his corner. And it takes an entirely different set of skills, a completely different understanding of cardio and match pacing to go from a tag team competitor to a singles competitor. It'll be interesting to see what he's able to do. And what he's able to do is incredibly impressive. Would you look at that? A flying, flipping senton to the outside. And these two are continuing their fight on the floor. Chris Knight breaks the count, heads back out to the outside, and would you look at that? Powerful, quick snap jab takes Landon back. But Landon able to catch Knight into a gut buster, but Knight with a kick takes him down. Knight extremely good at counterattacking. And look at that, fast jabs. You're going to have to watch out for Chris Knight's strike game. The man is a former boxer, a former mixed martial arts competitor. He brings with him a very diverse skill set in the ring. And would you look at that? Wow! He chased him with that elbow drop. Landon was trying to roll away, and he followed him 2/3 of the way across the ring. And look at that, a gator roll into just a rough neck crossface, just stretching on Landon there. Goodness gracious. You can feel the viciousness inside Chris Knight. Oh, but Landon, vicious himself, manages a back elbow to catch him off guard, followed by a leg lariat. But Chris comes back, kicks him in the leg, and again, that snap jab. He's got about the crispest snap jab I've seen in professional wrestling, this Chris Knight. And look at that, a Mason kick right there, out of nowhere. Wow! Chris Knight's going to have to watch it, because were it not for his positioning with that arm under the rope, that might have been it. As it is, Chris Knight is out. Ladies and gentlemen, he got caught square with that Mason kick, that deadly, deadly kick shared by all members of the Mason family. Oh, but look at that series of punches to the head of Landon Mason, and Chris Knight not giving him an inch. Just stomping him. He's abandoned any technical game plan he has, and he is just beating the holy hell out of one half of the Mason brothers tag team. Short power slam continues the assault, and look at the face of Landon Mason. He has blood streaking across his temple. Oh my goodness. Would you look at that? Oh. He is stalking him, folks. Chris Knight stalking him, and oh my goodness, a backstabber into a crossface. He calls that thing the Knight's Gambit, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. And just riding him into an arm lock, twisting him around. Chris Catch Knight is a vicious competitor. Landed, though, not done by a long shot. Knight sends him inside and oh, folks, look at that. Typical Mason trickery. The lights went out and Landon was suddenly behind him. I've never been able to figure out how all the Masons are able to do that, but it was enough to turn the tide in the favor of Landon Mason. That's a good trick. I'm going to have to figure that out. And a second Mason kick, folks. That might be it. 1, 2... And Knight manages to get a shoulder up, but he's going to have to take a powder for a moment outside. You know that his Uncle Damon has to be watching from home, rooting him on. Of course, given his pedigree, undoubtedly this man spent some time at the Wild Academy. And would you look at that, a power bomb across the top of the barricade. I told you not to sleep on Landon Mason, folks. This young man has more good years ahead of him than behind him. He is getting better all the time, and that's saying something considering he's already held tag team gold. But Chris Knight with a flying forearm takes him down. And what's he doing here? He's got him hooked up and just slams him to the ground. And a kick to the stomach. He's got him up. And, folks, he calls that the Dragon Catcher. Oh, look at him just cranking on Landon Mason. Just cranking on him, and that's all she wrote. Mason had no choice but to tap or risk hyperextending and dislocating those shoulders. The Dragon Catcher, a vicious, vicious submission hold. Wow, folks, look at the moxie there. of Chris Catch Knight. He managed to survive not one but two spinning Mason kicks, managed to gut it out and get a commanding victory over a very impressive veteran. So, ladies and gentlemen, look for big things from Chris Catch Knight. And also look for big things from Landon Mason, who we're very excited is back in on the national stage here on NWC Tonight. Folks, what a fantastic night of action we've had, but we're not done yet. Going to turn things over back to Gary Bloomfield for two more rounds of exciting tournament action.
The second half of the sixth round of the NWC tournament just about to begin. One of the leaders of this tournament, along with the spoiler three, is this man, Paul Hook Gravitt. Still a rookie, still in his first professional year in wrestling. And he has shown in this tournament that he is absolutely no slouch. He has made great waves, one loss on his record. He has defeated everyone else in his path. A humble young man, well-spoken, optimistic, very much a sportsman, very much a competitor. And maybe the antithesis of that description is his opponent. Bartholomew Brawler Lord Beckett. I still wonder where he got the Scottish title from. But Brawler Beckett, 2 losses on his record, is right behind the leaders, one of which is his opponent. And Beckett, not shy about breaking rules, not shy about doing anything he can for a victory. And he has shown in this tournament that it has worked for him more often than not. He had a grueling past couple of weeks against Chalk, which got him a victory, and then Spoiler, which cost him a loss. Brawler Beckett is going to look to make an example out of young Paul Gravitt. Gravitt with the size advantage will look for the chop, but Beckett had it scouted. Big drop kick. Front drop kick from the Brawler. Beckett with the early advantage, dropping his weight across the back of the head and neck of Gravitt, and really letting him know what he thinks. Gravitt didn't take kindly to that. He's got Beckett up. Over to the corner, face first on the top turnbuckle. Stuns the Brawler, and Gravitt putting the boots. And there's a boot from Beckett to break it up. Quick drop kick, looked like maybe to the midsection or possibly the knee or the hip area. Beckett now drops the knee on the back and holding it there, feeding his own ego. Gravitt trying to get back to his feet. Beckett, the holder of the Your Mother's Championship, which I believe it's a title that has never been defended. Of course, not recognized officially by the National Wrestling Council. I really wonder how Beckett got that belt in the first place. As he rolls Gravitt over, hooks the leg, count of 1, and Gravitt showing the heart that he has displayed throughout this tournament as he kicks out, then hooks the leg, gonna sit down on the Boston Crab, trying to get back on it. Beckett is fighting. Beckett hooks own leg and sends Gravitt to the outside. Following him out, collar and elbow tie-up. Beckett with the advantage, got him up over to the apron. Face first on the apron from the fireman's carry position. And look at this. Well, I thought Beckett was going to try to go for that single leg crab outside the ring. Instead, he slams the heel into the floor outside. Gravitt back in. Beckett following him. Beckett has got him in a crossface. An arm trap crossface applied by Beckett. Gravitt trying to fight out, manages to get his hips up and rolls free. Sends Beckett to the corner. Gravitt stalking him. Beckett comes out. Gravitt catches him. Gonna tie him up, hooking both legs, and a kick to the midsection to a defenseless Beckett, and now pressing the foot against the face. Referee was checking that was not a choke. He picks the leg once more. Single leg crab. Beckett so close to the ropes. If he can get his weight up enough to get an arm, instead he picks the leg and gets himself free. Kick to the midsection for Gravett. Gravett got him up. Pile driver on target, and Beckett falls to the outside of the ring. Gravett following him out. A series of chops. A stomp. Got him up. Facelock suplex. Beckett firing back with a forearm. Picks him up once more. Big body slam on the floor outside. Gravett answers with a shoulder tackle. As this has turned into a fight outside of the ring. Gravett now throwing Beckett back in. Stalking him, takes some time to catch his breath. Referee is still counting. Beckett up to one knee. Gravett making his way back in. Beckett looking for the clothesline, but got caught, and the Gravett is locked in on Beckett. A very painful maneuver. Can Beckett possibly withstand it? Look at the power of Brawler Beckett as he slams Gravett down to break the hold. Beckett now has Gravett up once more on his shoulder. Snake eyes in the corner. Got Gravett up once more. A Sonagari bomber. Hooks the leg. Beckett with feet on the ropes. 2. Gravett kicks out anyway. Beckett with a modified chin crusher. Chin to the shoulder. Stalking Gravett. Got him up, thumping down on the back of the head and neck. Dropping all that weight. And a second time. Rolls him over. Gravett kicks away at Beckett. Gravett picks the leg. He's going for the crab once more. Beckett trying to fight out of that single leg crab one more time. He's staying in there far too long and manages to get free. Match continues. Gravett in for the right. Beckett with a power slam. Covers him. 1. Count of 2. And if Beckett had hooked the leg, that might have been it, but Gravett kicks out at 2.5. Beckett! Burning hammer! Hooks the leg! 1, 2! And Brawler Beckett has defeated Paul Hook Gravett. A tremendous contest. But Gravett has taken a loss, and Beckett has picked up a victory. There you see the 3 count, and that was all she wrote. Your winner, Bartholomew Brawler Lord Beckett. Folks, our final match of round 6 coming up. All right, folks, round 6 comes to a close with this final contest. And one of the most anticipated matches of the entire tournament is just about to happen. Chalk, one of the largest men in this tournament, has had a rough go of things lately, but he has proven to be a force throughout this entire round-robin tournament. He is coming. He is here. Chalk makes his way into the ring. That is a chilling stare on that man's face. He is all business right now. Looking to get himself fired up for his opponent tonight. And there he is, right now sitting all alone in the top spot, the number one position, the pole position, if you will, in this endurance race, the Spoiler 3. One blemish on his record, but with the loss to Paul Gravitt, he is now the only man participating in this tournament who can say he only has one loss. The Spoiler is now firmly in the driver's seat. Chalk needs to win in order to keep this tournament open for everyone else. Easier said than done. Spoiler, the other man who may be considered the largest in this tournament. We'll have to get a tail of the tape to see who actually is the biggest. But these two mighty bulls are about to collide, and ladies and gentlemen, I got to be honest with you, I can't wait. Chalk and the Spoiler 3, the bell rings, and here they come. And it is Chalk going to fire the first blow as he throws Spoiler into the corner and then down onto the mat. Stomp to the midsection. Look at that, the cockiness of Chalk. I'm not sure that's a path that I would take against the Spoiler. Chalk got him up by the throat and throws Spoiler down. Look at that. Chalk an absolute powerhouse. So is the Spoiler 3, but right now it's Chalk who's in control. And Chalk gonna do a little bit of feasting on the fingers of the Spoiler. Spoiler back to his feet. Chalk got him. Irish whip in. Big time power slam. Chalk hooks the leg. Count of one. Count of almost two. Spoiler out just before two. Chalk hammering away at the Spoiler and now ramming him face first into the mat. Chalk dropping all the weight, sitting down on the Spoiler. Spoiler gets out of the way of the kick, blocks a punch. Chalk got him up, however. Modified belly buster by Chalk. Spoiler trying to fight defensively. It is not working. Chalk is just manhandling the Spoiler. Drops all that weight on the chest of the Spoiler once more. Spoiler has not gotten out of the gates yet. Big headbutt. Spoiler rolling to the outside. He is upset. Chalk following him out. Gets thrown back into the barricade. Chalk with a European uppercut. Down goes the Spoiler. Chalk with an airplane spin, and Spoiler went crashing into the barricade. Chalk is taking the Spoiler apart. Big lariat, holds on to it. A second lariat. Chalk going for a third one. No, ducks underneath. Kick to the chest area. Spoiler with a kick. Chalk throws him away. Kick to the midsection. He's got Spoiler up. Power bomb onto the barricade. Chalk is looking to hurt the Spoiler. Spoiler gamely trying to get back to his feet. Chalk's got him. Spoiler reverses. Just about backdrop. Chalk drops the knee across the face. He's signaling. Is he going to go for the Iron Claw? Chalk caught him. Irish whip into the corner. Chalk with a devastating big boot. Hooks the leg on Spoiler. Count of one. 2. Spoiler kicks out at 2. Chalk, a series of punches to the midsection of the spoiler. Big boot, and down goes the spoiler. 3. Spoiler back up. Catches Chalk. Where's he taking him? Spoiler ascending the ropes. And walking the tightrope. Hammers down Chalk. Rolls him over. Hooks the leg. 1. Count of 2. Chalk kicks out at 2. Spoiler upset. Chalk sends Spoiler to the corner. Chalk with another big boot to the spoiler. One more time. Rolls him over. Hooks the leg. 1. Spoiler gets the shoulder up at 1. Not a strong kick out. Not a powerful kick out. But a shoulder up at 1 nonetheless. Spoiler with a forearm to Chalk. Chalk trying to catch him coming in. Irish whip to the corner. Chalk, big boot one more time to the jaw of the spoiler. Spoiler kicks away at Chalk. Both men back to their feet. Spoiler throws down Chalk. Chalk off balance now. Spoiler's got him. Clubs Chalk down across the chest. Chalk shoves the spoiler away with his feet. Irish whip off the ropes. What a kick that was. Hooks the leg. 1, 2, kick out. Spoiler kicks out. Chalk, not upset. He's setting him up. Big time chop. 1, 2. Spoiler kicks out. What a contest. Got him up. Chest buster. Tilt-a-whirl chest buster. Chalk talking some noise, but he's in control. Deadlift powerbomb. And Spoiler kicks him away. Spoiler. Clubbing right hand sends Chalk down. It is amazing that the Spoiler is still in this match, but he has not lost yet. And he is wearing Chalk down. Knee strike to the temple. Spoiler getting set. Chalk caught him coming in. DDT. Chalk. Gut wrench position. Gut wrench, gut buster. Hooks the leg. 1. Count of 2. Spoiler's kicked out. Chalk is in disbelief. Oh my God, what a match. Chalk got him up. Gorilla press position. Powers him down. 1, 2. Chalk has defeated the Spoiler. And now this tournament is truly anyone's to win. The leadership position has increased to include Spencer Watts and Brawler Beckett. Folks, what a surprising, shocking round 6, and we have 1 week of matches left to go as Chalk reigns victorious. Folks, our main event is coming up next.
Wow, what an exciting match. Amazing, amazing action in the NWC tournament. Just 1 round left to go, ladies and gentlemen. But we are not done tonight, not by a long shot. Look at this main event. We have tag team action from our women's division as Danica Rabin teams with #1 contender Anna Sokolov to take on the duo of Alyssa Wilde and her daughter, the INCW Women's Champion Nikki Wilde. Wild. Folks, this match has been quite a long time coming. We're seeing the dovetailing of two long burning fuses here. We've had Danica Raven and Alyssa Wilde at each other's throats all season in an increasingly deadly blood feud. And of course, Anna Sokolov and Nikki Wilde, their rivalry needs no introduction. We have a collision course, and that collision course tonight goes through a tremendous tag team encounter. Anna Sokolov, of course, has been just a house of fire ever since she debuted in INCW. She had a brush with the top of the mountain as she took on Nikki Wilde at Boiling Point for the INCW Championship, but was narrowly defeated, and she has been seething ever since. The only loss on her record, her loss to Nikki Wilde. She has been looking for a chance all season to have another shot at the White Rabbit and her INCW Women's Championship. Meanwhile, Danica Raben, a partner of convenience tonight for Anna Sokolov, has had an interesting path to stardom. She started out with us as an INCW referee. Of course, that wasn't her original occupation. For South Bayou Championship Wrestling, she, under a very different identity, had a tremendous career, but left the squared circle as an in-ring competitor, left active competition to become a referee for personal reasons. But she found herself dragged back into the spotlight in a feud with Alyssa Wilde, matriarch of the Wilde family. These two have had multiple encounters. Most recently, they met each other in a 6-woman battle royal at the NWC Under the Weather Spectacular. And we know that we're going to be seeing some more from these two as time goes on. Clearly, this is not a dead issue, but tonight we're going to see both of these feuds collide in a tag team encounter. Now, coming down the aisle, we have a very unlikely duo. Of course, the Wilde family, as known for fighting amongst themselves as they are for working together. Nikki Wilde and her mother, Alyssa Wilde, have been estranged for quite some time. They haven't been seeing eye to eye ever since Nikki joined INCW, sided with Derek Arzon and the Spoiler, and started the faction known as Forever Unchained. Alyssa, not a huge fan of Nikki's propensity for causing trouble or for her slightly loud in-ring gimmick of the White Rabbit, but they are still family. And when Nikki found herself on the opposite side of the ring from Anna Sokolov, Alyssa, someone with history with Sokolov as well, did come to her daughter's aid. And as it is right now, the two of them are on the same page for the first time in a few years. They're going to need to take on Sokolov and Raben, and the referee has rang the bell. We are underway. This should be a tremendous encounter, folks. And Alyssa starting it off strong with Anna Sokolov. An atomic drop followed by a fisherman suplex, sending the Siberian cyborg halfway across the ring. Folks, buckle up. We may be here for a while. These four are at the top of their game. It's going to take quite a feat of strength and fortitude to get any one of these four women down long enough for a 3 count. Alyssa doing very well against a former rival in Anna Sokolov. During Anna's first season in INCW, she and Alyssa met more than one time. Anna was very interested in testing her mettle against a member of the Wilde family. And in those encounters, Anna did end up getting the better of Alyssa in a couple of very decisive matches. And you know that has been eating at Alyssa Wilde for seasons now. Alyssa tags out to Nikki, and of course Nikki and Anna, no strangers to each other. Anna goes for a clothesline, but Nikki ducks underneath it, managing to avoid Anna Sokolov so far, clips her with a hard right hand, and tags out to her mother. She doesn't really seem to want to spend too much time one-on-one with Anna, and who can blame her? And look at this, folks. Raben and Wilde in the ring together one more time. They are like oil and water, this explosive combination. Every time they face each other in the ring, the level of violence escalates, and I look to see that happening here as well. Wow, would you look at the athleticism? Huge kip up by Danica Rabin. Goes for a dropkick. Alyssa has it scouted, rolls out of the way, and manages a Greco-plex, a bridging Greco-plex, the Wild family specialty. Rabin with a big kick to Alyssa Wild. And a guillotine leg. Wow, what a maneuver that was. And right there, Rabin manages to neutralize Nikki. Clearly she's thinking pin, or perhaps submission. Tags out to Anna Sokolov. Alyssa has nowhere to go and just gets her knee taken out from underneath her. Anna targeting that knee-braced leg of Alyssa. And Anna Sokolov choking her across the rope. Nikki recovered, though, ready to help out her mother if she needs it. Anna Sokolov, just a vicious, deadly, efficient submission machine. Every maneuver she has is going to work on those limbs. Tying Alyssa Wild's legs into pretzel knots. And tagging out to Danica Rabin. Danica Rabin, of course, the master of the Deathbird, the inverted Phoenix splash from the top rope, a tremendous high flyer. Ooh, and a shot to the kidneys to the large and statuesque Alyssa Wild. Danica Rabin sends Alyssa to the corner and just kicks her right in the solar plexus with a hard knee. And Rabin with a DDT right into the center of the ring. And a quick tag out to Nikki Wild. Now these two, Rabin and Wild, had a tremendous championship match just a couple of weeks ago. One that Danica Rabin nearly won, were it not for a foreign object pulled by the White Rabbit, knocking Danica Rabin unconscious right in full view of the officiating referee. But of course that referee... Oh, would you look at that, folks? Nikki tries to take a powder, tries to run from Anna, but gets caught, sent into the far corner. You can run, but you cannot hide, White Rabbit, says Anna Sokolov. Sorry, just to finish my thought earlier while Anna takes care of business. Nikki Wild able to retain her title over Danica Rabin, but only because the referee for that match, Alyssa Wild, guest referee Alyssa Wild, completely showing a blind eye and allowing Nikki to hit Danica with a foreign object. Extremely unsportsmanlike behavior. Anna Sokolov tags back out to Danica Rabin after feasting on the fingers of Nikki Wild. Danica going for a quick pin after that Hurricane Rana. One, and just a one count. It's going to take a lot more than that to keep the women's champion down. And Danica says, that's fine, I've got plenty more than that. Such as this twisting moonsault. Goes for a pin a second time. 1, 2, and at 2.5, Nikki does manage to get a shoulder up still. Danica stomping away at the shoulder of the champion. Controlling her, takes her to her corner. Slams her into the corner, tags out to Anna Sokolov. What do these two ladies have planned? Uh-oh. Has Nikki up on her shoulders. Anna to the middle rope. What is she going to do? Cinched up and a top rope DDT to the women's champion. Nikki is in big trouble and on Dream Street manages a desperation tag to her mother. But Alyssa eats a spine buster from Anna Sokolov. The always deadly, the always efficient, the always working Anna Sokolov. Shin breaker on Alyssa Wild. Alyssa, though, no slouch herself, manages a brain buster deep in the Wild corner of the ring. But Anna Sokolov not nearly finished. Does make a tag out, a smart, quick tag as she convalesces from that brain buster. Danica, series of vicious kicks. Every time Danica is in the ring with Alyssa Wilde, she absolutely goes for broke. Nikki trying to stop Danica, but no dice. Flying DDT from the top rope. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. Alyssa able to kick out at 2, but barely so. Folks, this match is every bit as high-flying as I thought it was going to be. Every bit as intense. Every bit as high impact. Anna Sokolov in the ring. Suplex on Alyssa Wilde, sending her deep into the friendly corner there. Sends Alyssa to the ropes. Ducks underneath. And just absolute strength on display. Power slam. And a quick tag out to Rabin. Danica Rabin maintaining control. Alyssa in deep trouble as she gets sent to the corner. Ooh, eats a kick. What is Danica going to do? Ladies and gentlemen, twisting moonsault. My goodness. Calls that La Fantasma. Goes for the pin. And Alyssa barely able to get a shoulder up with the aid of her daughter, Nikki. Danica Rabin, though, still maintaining control. Going to try to get Alyssa over to her own corner, far away from where Nikki Wilde is able to help. Oh, would you look at that, though? A combination. Anna Sokolov with a punch to the back of the head, followed by a thrust kick and a guillotine leg drop by Danica deep in the corner. 1, 2, and Nikki able to break it up. One of the assets of the Wild team, Nikki, incredibly fast on her feet. Oh my goodness, Danica sends Alyssa over the top rope, and it's just getting the boots put to her by Anna Sokolov, and flipping, flying maneuver off the top. Wow, that is amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, I can't even call all of this action. Danica Rabin, a tremendous high-flying competitor, just sending Alyssa back into the ring after just destroying her outside the ring with a series of high-impact aerial offense maneuvers. Flying roundhouse kick takes Alyssa down. Alyssa is in deep trouble as Danica chokes her, just absolutely vicious, throwing all caution to the wind, not caring if she's disqualified. She wants her pound of flesh. But Alyssa Wilde manages to leverage her way out of it. Follows up with a suplex. She's going to want to make that tag as quick as possible, and she does. Her daughter, the women's champion, in the ring. But Danica, still with a lot of fire in her, sends Nikki to the ropes. Ducks under and manages a leapfrog and a wheelbarrow into a DDT. Danica Rabin absolutely on fire. I know that Anna Sokolov has the #1 contendership, but you've got to think that these actions of Danica have really been turning the heads of the championship committee. She has got to be in line for a title shot of some sort sooner rather than later, regardless of who ends up with the belt. Danica has Nikki in what looks like an STF style. Oh my goodness, what's she going to do? What's she going to do? Curb stomps the women's champion straight into the mat. And the Cyborg in. And just like that, Siberian leg sweep goes for the pin. This could be it, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, and wow. Alyssa Wilde in no condition to try to make the save. It had to be all Nikki, and Anna is beside herself as Nikki managed to kick out of the Siberian leg slam. But will she kick out of this? Cold snap right in the center of the ring. And Alyssa in to break it up. Not a good time to be the White Rabbit, ladies and gentlemen. She has eaten a Siberian leg sweep followed by a cold snap, but manages to deliver a bunny hop right to the chest of Anna Sokolov. Manages to regain some semblance of control after just being victimized by the Russian Cyborg. Drags her out. What's she going to do? Nikki trying to find some course of action, some method of attack here, some plan, some path. slams Anna into her corner. Tag out to her mother. What's going on here? Alyssa and Nikki teaming together, and oh my goodness, assisted elevated cutter to Anna Sokolov from the Wilds. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, what tremendous tag team action. But still, the Siberian Cyborg unfazed. Shin breaker on the Elder Wild. But she does need to make that tag. Tags out to Raven as she goes outside to try to regain her senses. And a spear takes Alyssa down, and a second one for Nikki. Both of the Wild family members are completely waylaid outside the ring. What tremendous action, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to say. This has been just an absolutely amazing match so far. And 3 suplexes in a row to Alyssa Wilde. Danica Raven is an absolute house of fire, and a DDT just flips her over right there. Oh my goodness. Alyssa sent back into the ring. What tremendous, tremendous work by these young ladies here. This is the women's division of NWC is alive and well and healthy between this tremendous action and the addition of new competitors such as War, such as Victoria Prime, such as Karashika. Just amazing women waiting in the wings. If I am Nikki Wilde, I am sweating bullets at the prospects of facing the women of NWC. Goodness gracious, would you look at that huge DDT. This action here is absolutely just top shelf, ladies and gentlemen. And would you look at that? Driver takes Alyssa down. She calls that one the Groovy Driver, folks. And what is this, ladies and gentlemen? Inverted Phoenix Splash. Calls that the Deathbird. Is this it? 1, 2, and Nikki able to make the save. Undoubtedly, that would have been the match were it not for the timely interference by the INCW Women's Champion. Goes for a pin again. And again, Nikki right there. They're going to have to neutralize the White Rabbit before they're going to be able to get that pinfall. Nikki sends Anna out. And then Danica sends Nikki out. We're down to a one-on-one encounter again, folks. This would be a good time for an attempted pinfall. But instead, Danica sends Alyssa out. Measures her. What is she going to do? Are we going to see another one? Flying, twisting moonsault crashes through Alyssa on the floor. Wow! And just going to town, vicious chokes right on that canvas outside the ring. But the veteran Alyssa Wilde with a face-first DDT into the mat sends Danica in. But before going after her, goes to neutralize her partner. Brainbuster outside. The veteran instincts of Alyssa Wilde are second to none, folks. Alyssa sends Danica to the ropes. Ducks underneath. Ducks underneath a second time. What's she going to do, folks? Oh, shoulder-to-shoulder collision. No woman budges. But now Danica with a series of strikes followed by a dropkick. Heads to the top again. Are we going to see it one more time, folks? Deathbird! Second time. And at the last possible second, Nikki manages a save. Wow, I thought that was it, folks. Alyssa out to the floor. Anna just making short work of Nikki outside. Would be a good time to... And oh, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. It looks like we had some sort of an attempt at a suicide dive, but a miscommunication by Anna caused Danica to crash into the floor. And now inside the ring, Alyssa taking advantage of that distraction, drop kicks Anna outside the ring. And then on the other side, Nikki manages to get one over on Danica. Just like that, the Wilds are in control again. Big backdrop on Danica by Nikki. And meanwhile, Alyssa's on the top rope. What's she going to do? What's she going to do? Is she targeting Anna? Wow, flying forearm takes the Russian down. And then a second one for Danica. tremendous teamwork by the Wilds as they're trying to pick apart both members of this unlikely duo. And a DDT on the ground. Folks, I am practically hoarse from calling this action. And these four young ladies don't seem like they are in any hurry to finish things off. They are simply enjoying beating on each other too much. Danica with some sort of, Groovy Driver, second time. And where is Nikki? Is this it? One. Wow. I thought Nikki might have been incapacitated, but she managed to make it over and break that up. But Danica, wasting not a second, is now on the... I thought for a second she was going to go... but instead, heads-up maneuver takes out the partner of Alyssa. This would be a good time now. Is she going to do something to try to... And for the second time, a distraction by Anna prevents Danica from being able to fully take advantage. Well, they are not a regular tag team, folks. So there's going to be some miscommunication there now and again, but you got to wonder if that's going to eventually start wearing on the friendship here, start wearing on the psyche of Danica. Inside the ring, Alyssa, big DDT on the apron, and then outside, Danica manages a heads-up drop kick to Nikki Wild. Alyssa kicks Danica right in the leg. This match has spilled out outside for quite a long time ago, and they are just taking advantage of every piece of hardware outside that ring to dish out pain on their opponents. Alyssa sends Danica back inside the ring. Folks, this match has gone on for in excess of 15 minutes so far. What an encounter this has been. Clearly tired, Nikki is trying to find an angle of assault on Danica, and look at that, Danica just collapses into the center of the ring. Nikki trying to figure out the best way to try to finish this match. Has her in a submission. Can she get Danica to tap? No, Danica refuses, but Nikki goes for a pin, and Anna able to break it up. But what's going on here? Measuring Danica, kicks her in the stomach, and takes her down the rabbit hole. That could be it, ladies and gentlemen. But Anna Sokolov in to break it up. What is it going to take to keep these women distracted long enough to allow for some sort of a pinfall? You've seen some very heads-up maneuvers by these young ladies, working hard to try to neutralize the illegal partner. And what's going on here? Alyssa trying to maneuver Danica around. What is she going to do next? Measuring Danica Rabin. Went for a kick. She likes to feed that surgical strike variation of hers using a kick to the stomach, but Danica saw it coming. And Danica not so fast on her feet anymore, but manages to make it to the top. Death Bird for the third time. Alyssa is not moving and flying in from the right side of the ring. The White Rabbit once again for the third time, saving her mother. But meanwhile, what's Danica going to do? What's she going to do? Over the top rope. But Alyssa saw it coming. Swats her out of the air. Danica trying to collect herself outside the ring. Makes it back in. And these two young ladies, their partners are not around. DDT. Could we see a pinfall or a submission attempt? Second DDT by Alyssa. And look at this. She's calling for something. What's it going to be? But Danica manages to cut her off. Has her in the corner. Picks her up to the top rope. What is she going to do? Has Alyssa sitting at the top rope. Danica, wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. She is facing the wrong way. Oh my God! Superplex from the top rope to the outside. They are both broken in half, ladies and gentlemen. Alyssa Wild is not moving. I've never seen anything like that before in my 20 years of broadcasting. Alyssa is hurt. She may need medical attention, folks. Outside the ring, though, Danica makes short work of Nikki. trying to say, but look at that, folks, look at that. Dragon Sleeper at this late going in the match. Dragon Sleeper referee checking in, and ladies and oh my, look at this. Anna Sokolov knocked the referee unconscious, so the referee was unable to count it when Danica was tapping to Alyssa Wilde. Folks, if you saw that, my goodness, Alyssa had Danica. Danica was getting ready to tap. Anna saw it coming, couldn't reach her in time, clipped the referee from behind, prevented him from seeing Danica tapping, and this match will go on. The ref completely unconscious in the ring. All four of these women still fighting on the floor. And you can call that a dirty move on Annika's part, but I call it doing what she needed to do to keep this match going. She saw that they were a millisecond away from calling that match, and she did what she had to do. And the referee didn't see her do it, so this match goes on, folks. Danica back in the ring. Our referee has managed to recover. Ironic that in a match featuring Danica Raben and Alyssa Wilde, a bad referee call would be a determining factor. All four women in the ring. Nikki Wilde thrown by the hair out, and Danica's got her, but the referee distracted, didn't get down in time. 1, 2, wow, folks, I think that the referee was distracted by what was going on in the other part of the ring there, and was at least a couple of seconds late in going for that pinfall. That would have been it, folks. I'm certain of it. Bad referee calls following these two Spitfire female competitors. Alyssa going for an attack. Danica, though, manages to score with a DDT. And picks up Alyssa. Backdrop. German suplex. Spins her around. Vertical suplex to complete the trifecta. And an exhausted Danica Raben tags out to Anna Sokolov. Anna has Alyssa Wilde. Snap suplex takes her down. You know that Anna's got to be thinking cold snap at this late juncture in this game. Goes for a quick pinfall, 1, and for the umpteenth time, Nikki in to save her mother. She has been a valuable member of this match outside the ring, breaking up pinfalls for the better part of the middle of this match. Raben and Alyssa still in. Goes for a drop kick. Alyssa manages to stuff it. Oh, and look at this. Comes off the ropes with her variation on a surgical strike. This could be it, folks. But this time, Anna in with the timely save. And Alyssa, having none of it, manages to go for a cattle mutilation while Danica is taken out on the apron by Nikki Wilde. Uh-oh. What's Danica doing? Is she measuring Alyssa? She's waiting for a shot. Oh, and she does. She manages to hit a spin kick right to the mouth. No one else available to block a pinfall or submission. And Alyssa eats a huge curb stomp. All she's got to do is roll her over and pin her, ladies and gentlemen. But is looking to put an exclamation point on it. What are we going to see here? Attempted death bird, but Alyssa Wilde fights her way out of it. Hits a DDT. Wow. Manages to make a desperation tag to her daughter, Nikki Wilde, inside the ring. Twisting moonsault to Danica Raben. At this point, folks, it is anyone's game. All it's going to take is somebody not paying attention for a split second. Nikki to the top rope. White Rabbit's going to fly. Flying, spinning, flipping leg drop right to the back of the head of Danica Raben. But Raben still desperately trying to fight her way out. What's she going to do, folks? Has her up for a power bomb. Huge power bomb in the middle of the ring. But Nikki, heads up move, manages to roll out to avoid being pinned. But backdrop. German suplex. and she's going to complete the hat trick one more time. Vertical suplex on the INCW Women's Champion, and her partner is nowhere to be found. And she's tagging in Anna Sokolov for the death knell. What's she going to do, ladies and gentlemen? Bunny Hop, though, takes out Anna Sokolov. And look at that. Nikki is super proud of herself, but she gets caught. She's caught, folks. She's caught right in the center of the ring. And Nikki Wilde, the INCW Women's Champion, has been forced to tap out. Alyssa Wilde beside herself, furious, but she was outside the ring, unable to do anything about it. And that is the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. After multiple referee bumps, after thousands of false finishes, after every single woman in this match gave it their absolute all, your winner tonight via submission, the number one contender Anna Sokolov and Danica Rabin. And let it be said, the number one contender made the INCW Women's Champion tap out. Wow, what tremendous action to finish up an absolutely stellar top-shelf wrestling program. Look at this here. Anna Sokolov and Danica Rabin very happy. That is a rare smile on the face of Danica Rabin. She is a serious individual, and so is Anna for that matter. But tonight, they have let their guard down. They are all smiles. This partnership has borne fruit, and these two have a tremendous path to success at the upcoming Full Effect Supercard and beyond. Wow, what a night of action, ladies and gentlemen. I am speechless. It was a tremendous match. It was a tremendous night. 8 fantastic matches, really showing you why the NWC is the place to be. Thank you to our representatives of INCW, of PWA, of NWCW, of South Bayou Wrestling, and of the Wild Wrestling Academy, all for sending their best and brightest and really showing us what professional wrestling can be at this level. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Ronnie Stockholm. It's been my absolute pleasure, my honor, to bring you this action this evening. Thank you for tuning in and week out to NWC Tonight. We look forward in just a few weeks to presenting our first NWC Supercard Full Effect. Tune in for that, folks. It's going to be incredible. And of course, tune in next week as we finish up our number one contender tournament. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, I'm Ronnie Stockholm. Have a wonderful week.